In the vast, frozen wilderness of Antarctica, amidst a sea of black and white, one penguin stood out. Not for his size, not for his song, but for his stillness. His name was Pip, and he was waiting. While other penguins bustled about, diving for fish, squabbling over pebbles, and tending to their fluffy chicks, Pip stood at the very edge of the ice shelf, his gaze fixed on the endless, shimmering expanse of the Southern Ocean. His colony mates thought him peculiar. "What are you doing, Pip?" they'd squawk. "The krill are plentiful today, or come, help us reinforce the nests before the next blizzard." Pip would simply turn his head, offer a gentle nod, and then return his attention to the horizon. He wasn't lazy, and he wasn't antisocial. He was on a vigil. Years ago, during a particularly brutal winter, the ice had shifted unexpectedly. A massive fissure had opened up, separating a small group of penguins from the main colony. Among them was his partner, Luna. While the others panicked, scrambling back from the widening chasm, Luna had been swept away on a drifting floe, a tiny, receding figure against the vast, indifferent blue. The colony mourned. They accepted the loss, as nature often demands. But Pip could not. He remembered her last look, not of fear, but of promise. He remembered the unique call she had, a melody only he could truly recognize. And so, he decided to wait. He learned to survive on the periphery. He became an expert at snatching the lone, stray fish that swam too close to the edge. He learned the patterns of the wind and the subtle shifts in the color of the sky that heralded a storm. The edge of the ice was a dangerous place, constantly groaning and calving, but Pip became as much a part of it as the ice itself. He was a silent sentinel, a monument of hope carved against the Antarctic sky. The seasons cycled through their relentless rhythm. Summers brought the fleeting warmth of the 24-hour sun, turning the ice into a dazzling palace of light. Winters plunged the world into months of darkness, the aurora australis dancing like cosmic ghosts above. Chicks were hatched, grew up, and had chicks of their own. Young penguins would often approach him, their curiosity getting the better of them. "Grandpa Pip," they'd chirp, using the respectful title the colony had given him. "What are you waiting for?" Pip, his feathers now flecked with the gray of age, would look down at them, his eyes soft. He wouldn't speak of loss or of the cruelty. Instead, he would tell them stories. He spoke of the courage of the skua that defends its nest, the resilience of the seal that travels thousands of miles, and the unwavering loyalty of the albatross that mates for life. He taught them not about waiting for something to return, but about the power of holding something dear in your heart. He taught them about a different kind of strength, not the strength to fight or to flee, but the strength to hold on. His spot at the edge of the world became an unlikely classroom, a place of quiet wisdom. The other penguins began to see him differently. He was no longer the peculiar one, but the keeper of their history, the soul of their colony. They would bring him offerings of smooth stones, the highest courtesy in their society. The matriarchs would ensure he was looked after, sending their young with extra fish. They didn't understand his vigil, not really, but they understood the devotion behind it. They respected the unwavering flame of hope he kept alive in the coldest place on Earth. One year, an unusually warm current flowed out from the north. It brought with it strange new fish and, more alarmingly, it began to melt the ice shelf at an unprecedented rate. The colony was forced to move inland, abandoning their ancestral nesting grounds. They pleaded with Pip, "Come with us, old friend. The ice is no longer safe." Pip looked at the frantic colony, then back at the ocean. For the first time in years, a flicker of doubt crossed his heart. Was his wait in vain? Was he a fool, clinging to a ghost? He watched as the last of his colony began their slow, arduous trek to higher ground. His heart ached with a loneliness deeper than any winter night. He was truly alone now. He took one last, long look at the horizon, a tear freezing on his feathered cheek, and prepared to follow them, but then he heard it. Faint, distant, almost lost in the cry of the wind and the crash of the waves, it was a melody. A unique call he hadn't heard in years, a song that had lived only in his memory. It was Luna's song, He Froze, his head snapping back towards the sea. There, navigating the treacherous, melting flows, was a small group of penguins. They were older, weathered, but determined. And at their lead was a female, her call growing stronger as they drew closer. It was her, it was Luna, she had survived. Her ice floe had carried her not to her doom, but to a distant, isolated shore where she and the others had formed a new, small colony. For years, she had searched for a way back, following the ancient, invisible maps coded in the stars and the sea currents. It was the changing ocean, the very thing that threatened Pip's home, that had finally opened a path for her return. Pip didn't run, he didn't squawk. He simply stood there, his entire being thrumming with a joy so profound it felt like the sun had burst inside his chest. Luna scrambled onto the ice shelf, her steps quickening as she saw the lone figure. They met not with a frantic reunion, but with a quiet touch of their beaks, a gesture of profound recognition that transcended time and distance. Pip turned and called out, a loud, clear, triumphant cry that echoed across the ice. It was a call his colony had not heard from him in a decade. Far in the distance, the trekking penguins stopped. They heard it. They recognized the joy in it. And slowly, one by one, the entire colony turned around and began to waddle back. They were coming home. Pip's story became a legend, told to every new generation. He wasn't just the penguin who waited. He was the penguin who hoped. He was a testament to the fact that sometimes the greatest strength isn't in moving on, but in having the courage to stand still, to keep a light burning in the darkness, and to wait for the tide to turn. His vigil taught his colony, and all of us, that love and hope are not bound by time or distance, and that even in the most desolate of places, miracles can find their way home. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from our incredible world. See you next time!